Boink. Hopefully it goes. Go to YouTube Gaming.
The stream quality good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yep, we're live. Hey, everybody in chat.
Live.
I'm going to tweet this
Doing
out.
it live.
Tweet it out and then retweet it from Guardian Radio. Max, stop licking my feet. That's all he does is he sits. I have to watch moving my chairs because I'm afraid I'm going to run over his little paw. Oh, yeah. And he just sits. He never leaves my side.
My dog's getting so strong.
He's getting big?
He pulled my daughter over and drug her down the street, and she skinned up her arm and leg. Yeah, and he's 7 months old. I don't know what to do. He's just ridiculous.
How many pounds does he weigh?
He's like 60. I'm literally I'm the only person that can walk him. It's like brutal.
Oh, man.
I mean, he doesn't mean anything. He sees a dog. He sees a dragonfly and is like, go, and then my daughter's dead.
Crazy.
That's funny.
Aw. What's up, Michael Betterman, Geek Girl, Matt Juan, Gator Mag. What's up, Rebel Wild? Who else? Everybody's in chat today.
Yeah, man.
What's up, everybody?
I'm going to tweet out real quick here from the
everybody in the chat getting tips. For
those that are here early, yeah, we got a Mark's going to explain live once we get the show going, but we're not going to be live next week, but we're going to have someone on from Bungie, which Mark is going to explain.
Someone's on.
Yeah, so we won't be able to record it live. Mark will explain it, but we'll record it Monday night, and then I'll have it up on the channel shortly after. Hey, Thaw Zero, what's going on? Christopher, there's a murder quest in the Festival of the Lost, it says, and some sort of there's a. Yep. I have to pull it up, actually.
I put it in a rundown. It says.
Yep. Actually, unknown player.
It ends with the quest to solve a murder.
Actually, unknown player spotted a really cool thing, man.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it here. We're jumping the gun here, but. What's up, chat? Guys, thank you as always here for tuning in here and joining us live. We love having you guys here. I am fighting a little bit of a cold, so I do apologize for that if you hear me sniffling, as well as the bubble guts from earlier today, which we almost weren't even recording today, but I'm here. We're going to do this thing and knock this out. But we got lots of good stuff to talk about. Like Sean said, we got a big little announcement here at the beginning of the show. And yeah, I mean, this big week here in Destiny too, for sure.
Lots of stuff to talk about.
I wish we got the full details on Festival of the Lost, but that's coming. It's coming soon. So
there's even going to be a stream.
That's right.
Stream.
Yep.
All right, you guys ready?
Ready.
All right, here we go. Guardian Radio, episode 270. Welcome everyone to Guardian Radio, the first and longest running Destiny podcast on the net. You are tuned into episode 270. My name is Mark Turcotte, and joining me this week, as always, from the Dub Den, K-Dub. K-Dub, what's up, dude?
What's up, boys? So apparently there's a thing going around where if you're a host on Guardian Radio, you get a stomach thing. On Saturday, I almost died from eating mini wheats and was out of commission for 2 days on my couch. Today, Mark gets the freaking hibachi at the mall and almost
hibachi
dies.
Bubble guts.
So everything happening in threes. Poor Mesa Sean's got some crap coming, man.
Yeah, you better watch it, Sean.
Don't jinx me, guys. Don't jinx it.
That murder quest is coming for you, Sean.
Other than that, everything has been good, boys.
But of course, that third voice you heard there, from the heart of Queens, our king of Queens, Mesa Sean. Sean, what's up, man?
I did get sick this weekend, but I got sick with disappointment seeing Conor McGregor getting choked out by.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know, Conor just didn't look like himself. He wasn't striking. He wasn't throwing. I was expecting Conor to come out and keep it a stand-up.
He's a monster, dude.
No, he's a monster, but he's a one-trick pony, and that's the thing. That's why he needs to fight Tony Ferguson. Seeing Tony Ferguson's performance, man, coming off of an ACL surgery 6 months or 9 months, I think, after, and just blood, like when he split Pettis' eye open. That was a great fight of the night, and I really want to see. I'd rather see Khabib versus Tony Ferguson than Conor, because Tony is one of those. He's an amazing striker, but an amazing grappler. He's like a spider, rolls around the floor, will come up beneath you, grab you, drag you down. So that, and I need to go play the lottery. I got my third Forsaken exotic this weekend.
Oh, nice.
I got the Queen's Breaker's bow from the final raid chest doing the Last Wish raid, which we'll get into because I finally got to do it. And, man, I have so much to talk about with that raid. They knocked it out of the park, and I think they outdid themselves. This in my opinion, probably one of the best raids.
Real quick, just side comment, real quick. Drew Brees just beat the all-time passing record for yards in the NFL.
Nice. There you go. Congratulations, Drew Brees. But what's up, everybody? We are a Destiny podcast, in case you didn't know that. We're talking about UFC. We're talking sports. But what's up, guys? Thank you, as always, here for joining us. We appreciate everybody tuning in, however you're tuning in, whether it's through YouTube. Big what's up to everybody live over at youtube.com/MesaSean, or if it's through your podcast service of choice, like iTunes, Podbean, whatever it is. Thank you guys, as always. Quick housekeeping here at the beginning of the show. Next week, we are not going to be recording the podcast live. So if you're used to being a live listener, it will not be live next week. However, it will be bumped to YouTube. But the reason we're not doing it live next week is we are going to have some very special guests on the podcast next week. These guests are going to come all the way from Seattle. Little development studio called Bungie that you may have heard of. Next week, we're going to have Robbie Stevens, who is the senior designer for Gambit, and Cooley Callahan, the senior artist for Gambit. So next week, guys, if you got the hint there, we're going to be talking about Gambit, everything Gambit next week. So
we'll ask him if it took as long to draw the Gambit malfeasance boss as it does to spawn.
So we will be talking with them next week and getting all the full details on the development of Gambit, the state of Gambit, all of that. So be sure to tune in next week. Like I said, it will be on the YouTube channel as well as in the podcast forums. You'll be able to hear that next week. So we're really excited for that. And we always are asking for emails, feedback@theguardiansofdestiny.com. So shoot us some ideas. What do you want to know about Gambit? Email us, feedback@theguardiansofdestiny.com, and we'll bring it up in our conversation chances. So send that over to us. And one final thing.
I want to say real quick, we basically got no emails this week. So definitely send those. We will bring them up. Yeah. We'll, if it's a good question you have, we'll ask them. So send those in.
Yep. Yeah. And they're both very cool dudes too. So I know it's going to be just a fun conversation.
Yeah, awesome.
Talking with those guys. And one final thing too, as we're recording this, it is the 7th. Is it 7th or the 8th? I think it's the 8th. On the 10th of every month, we send out EBD Radio, which is where we talk about everything but Destiny. So if you want to get access to that, you can see down in the show notes or on our website, theguardiansofdestiny.com. You can see how you can help support the podcast and get access to that. So you have just a few more days for that. And of course, if you miss it this month, you can always get it next month as well. So $5.
It's pretty dang funny.
That's right. $5 gets you access to the audio, and $7 gets you access to the video. So check that out. But let's move on here, boys. Let's get into the news. We have so much to talk about. Let's talk about our news segment that we call Dispatches from the Traveler. All right. Well, this week at Bungie, boys, we got a little bit of insight into what's next in Forsaken. We got that roadmap, if you remember. Was it right before Forsaken came out? They gave us that nice big breakdown of everything that was going to be coming. And if you've been a Destiny player for a while, you know that there's a certain event that comes every October to celebrate Halloween, and that is the Festival of the Lost. So this one's going to kick off October 16th with a celebration of lost heroes and a new challenge to tackle. It includes a costume party, and you're all invited, it says. It ends with a quest to solve a murder. Ooh-hoo-hoo. So if you remember from D1, we got to wear the masks. Remember running around with all the masks of all the different characters?
Yep.
So
those are great.
I'm thinking that's what they're doing.
Remember getting the actual physical versions of those, and you could build them?
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to get one. I tried to build one of those Crota masks. It was so ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
You had to have really, really thick paper to make it work right, and blah blah blah. But it was really, really cool.
I think Unknown Player solved the mystery of who the murderer is. Well, I mean, not obviously who killed him, but who is the one that will be solving.
Right.
We think it's Master Ives, because Unknown Player did a video, check it out, this morning he put it up, where in the initial trailer for Festival of the Lost, when they show you kind of the yearly content things, this is a while back, this is not a recent trailer or anything, when they show you the shrine to kind of Festival of the Lost, right where the Moments of Triumph was, you see a little hologram that kind of looks like Master Ives or something like that. So Unknown Player has a really cool theory that, the Cryptarch and Master Raoul always hated each other or something like that, from Cryptarch to Cryptarch or something.
That's easy to do. Hate that.
Yeah.
So
maybe we'll have to solve his murder, and maybe it'll be Raoul the Ghoul or something. And I don't know. So a good theory, though, Yeah,
I'd like to solve Raoul's murder after I kill him.
I like to kill him because he won't give me any exotics. And actually, he's not the problem with exotics. The game isn't giving me any exotics whatsoever. But
that's going to change. That's going to change.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Festival of the Lost is always kind of like one of the best events I think that they always have, because just
they're fun.
Number one, just not even because in game, like fall is just my favorite time of year. So like that, when you have your favorite game putting this very cool event where it's, you know, just fun. Everything about that event is neat. I wonder if, do you remember in D1 we had to go around and collect the candy? Isn't that what you had to do?
Yeah, collect candy. Yep. Max, what's up?
I mean, and you know, they say costumes. I wonder, are we gonna get like a full-on costume? Could you imagine that if they did that, where rather than just the mask, it actually was
I gotta wear full.
Like you become that character
Isn't it
in the
easy
space.
enough to just give you ornaments to put on your armor to make you look a certain way?
I would think so. Like make you just take that asset of the thrall or whatever it is, and suddenly you're playing as a thrall. Now the issue would be in the HUD, of course, holding the gun, all that stuff. They got to figure all that out. But I think that'd be cool, man. So we'll see. Full reveal coming this week, they said.
Yeah, they didn't say when the stream was going to come, but they said there will be a reveal stream. So
did they say?
They did say a reveal stream? No, they said the next WAB. They said they're gonna.
I thought they said stream somewhere, man. I swear they did.
Be on the lookout for a full reveal of what we're scaring up
for the season. Okay.
So yeah, no stream.
All right, they didn't say stream. All right.
No, I mean, really, that's soon. That's next Tuesday.
Yeah, This Week at Bungie, they're going to reveal, I think, it all. I'll stream the This Week at Bungie, guys, on Thursday, if you're here watching right now. So,
Raisins. Yep, raisins.
Let's see. Update 2.0.4 is also going to be coming on that same date on October 16th. And some quality of life changes coming within that. One of which is you can now track up to 3 pursuits, which I think is a great thing. I mean,
I only put the important things in here, by the way.
You know, right now when you kind of go in there and when I'm trying to do, let's say like the weekly bounties or even just those daily bounties, and you can only track one at a time. It's kind of annoying sometimes, because sometimes you can, you know, at least kind of match a bunch up where it's like, hey, kill 50 of these enemies on Mars, and then you have one that's like, get you know what, 20 void kills or whatever it is. It's like, let me just track them at the same time rather than not, you know, or having to keep going between the two. So I think that's a great change. Let's see, they're adding Through Fire and Flood, Xenophobia D, and the Crooked Fang 4FR to the World Legendary pool. So Edge Transit
company.
Company.
Funny, like, we're gonna talk about the raid and Edge Transit a little bit later, but that's good that, you know, geez, one of our buddies, Strider, he literally changed his Twitter handle to Edge Transit.
Yeah,
it's so ridiculous, and you know, it's one of those things. I don't even hardly ever use that gun, but obviously in certain scenarios, it's as good as it can get. So it's good that they're bringing some other, maybe their OP weapons into that pool. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be great.
Can I just chime in on the loot thing? I think, look, random rolls came back, which is great, because now every week we're hunting for things. What I really hope they do with Black Armory, or as Destiny 2 progresses, is add more loot pools, you know, because I feel like right now we're all chasing the same, I won't even put a number on it, but the same number of weapons with the same number of perks, right? We're all looking for a trust with Outlaw Rampage or Outlaw Kill Clip, Distant Relation, the Raid Pulse Rifle, which I got a God roll on. We're looking for Tiger's Spite with certain rolls. You know, the Vanguard and the Crucible, they don't really have much but the same few weapons. I mean, I got my God roll Better Devils. We need more loot pools, and I think we need more perks to make the chase more interesting post once you kind of hit your max level. Because right now, I mean, like, we're missing the factions. You know, back in D1, we at least would have the rotating factions every week. You could go in, check, all right, Future War Cult selling this, or New Monarchy selling this, you know. And I feel like there's not enough weapons. I mean, thank God they brought random rolls back. But I hope with the next DLC for Black Armory, add more loot pools. Whatever they do with faction rallies, man.
By the way, can they take away the hip fire perk? Like, just take it away.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a single gun in Destiny right now that you get an advantage from hip firing. Like, the Last Word was really the only gun you really had an advantage hip firing.
Well, fusion rifles maybe a little bit, right?
Slightly, but you still want to ADS because it takes the charge time. You want to keep it on target.
Yeah.
So, but I get bows with hip fire. I get snipers with hip fire. I'm like, what the hell is the point of having a sniper with hip fire? Like, what am I trying to make a video with, you know, OG 360, whatever you say, Sean? Well, I can hip fire snipe people. The OG 420 hip fire 360, whatever.
YOLO swag.
YOLO swag.
YOLO swag. That's it. Yeah.
Enough with the hip fire snipers.
That goes back to the. It goes back to the problem is that there's not enough perks in the game, and I feel like part of the problem is, and I know it's too late for them to ever go back and do this, but the frames have the built-in perks we were familiar with or grinding for within Destiny, right? Like I remember Josh Hamrick, I think on DCP said like, I think Precision Frame had the counterbalance frame from Destiny 1. You know what I mean? So like if I would love it if they could literally go back to the D1 system. You take a weapon type. This is its archetype. This is its rate of impact, fire, yada, yada. And then from there, have the same, 3 sets of trees, scopes, barrels, all that sort of stuff, and go back to that. They more than likely won't. So if not, just create more perks. Now, it's easier said than done. Right. If someone said, Sean, sit down and write perks, I'd be hard-pressed to come up with some better perks than what they have right now. But I want to see things like Luck in the Chamber come back. If Firefly came back on Ace of Spades, why can't it come back instead of Dragonfly on regular legendary weapons? It's such a Dragonfly, they buffed it and everything, but it's still not Firefly. When you use your Ace of Spades and you see Firefly proc, you're like, all right, that's Firefly from D1. You know what I mean?
Well, Sean, speaking of Dragonfly, I actually got this week one of those Bungie curated rolls on the Vouchsafe, and it has Dragonfly and Zen Moment on it. And I'll be honest, like it's very stable, but when you see that Dragonfly proc, it's definitely not what it should be. Plus, it says in here the next thing we're going to mention was how they're increasing scout rifle damage in PvE against non-player enemies in Gambit as well. Like you can tell that like that gun should be hitting harder. Like I was running a Heroic Adventure on Mercury, finishing up the Flashpoint, and like just kind of melting some of those, like even the orange bar Cabal, like in the Infinite Force. I'm like, I'm having to actually reload this gun. Why am I having to do this when I'm just constantly hitting him in the head? Like that's not right. Something just isn't right with this scout rifle. As great as that gun is, and I'm sure on the 16th that gun is going to be great at that point, but right now it's just not. I mean, I've been using pulse rifles, or of course my Tiger Spite. That auto is just.
We'll be back to Scouts soon, boys. We'll talk about that in a bit, but we'll be back to Scouts soon.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So let's talk about that. And they're increasing that scout rifle damage in PvE and against non-player enemies in Gambit. I mean, I think the non-player enemies in Gambit is going to be huge because, K-Dub, like your strategy that you always do, you like to sit in the middle and just
use scouts and just scout motes dropping for my teammates. If you're gonna, and I know Sean's got a big thing that he's trying to get a different playlist for solo only in Gambit, which I agree with, and maybe we'll talk to our boys next week about that. But that's a thing. Like that's literally became my strategy of, hey, I'm not gonna bank motes. That's fine, but they're gonna be everywhere for you guys to go pick up. You bank, I'll take them out, and then then I can stand there, get the heavy, and then I can invade because I'm standing there right by the portal. So it's just like one of the things that I do. Like if I'm playing solo, I'll sit there in the middle at the bank, take out enemies with a scout from wherever, let them pick up and bank. I'll pick up the heavy and I'll invade. And it's worked, to an extent, but it's still not like being stacked up with a team. I mean, it just.
Well, I mean, like the thing with scout rifles, scout rifles were my jam. That's all I used forever. And people need to know that, people are like, why did they nerf them? Why they didn't need to be nerfed? No, what happened was they explosive payload got nerfed by accident.
Explosive payload, right.
They fixed explosive payload, and then that by accident nerfed scout rifles. So explosive payload is great. Like I just got the raid hand cannon Nation of the Beasts, or is it called Nation of the Beasts? Whatever, with explosive payload, and it's amazing right now. But I have a few scout rifles that, like I think it was Vouchsafe for one of the Dreaming. What's the Dreaming scout rifle?
Vouchsafe is a scout. Oh, it's
that's the one that I got. Yeah, the Vouchsafe.
I have that with explosive payload, but I'm waiting for that buff so that it really. And I got 2 God Roll Nameless Midnights sitting in my vault waiting. They still have the plastic on them. They got that new gun smell and everything. I'm waiting to take them out, peel them out, lock and load, get ready, because I'm saving them for that update to take into Gambit. Because right now in Gambit, my loadout is Ikelos, Sleeper, and usually Tiger Spite.
Yeah. Dude, it's funny that you mentioned that because it's literally the reason that I complained nonstop about vault space in D1 is because the meta changed, and the meta doesn't change as much now. But with random rolls and the meta changing occasionally, you need to hang on to things because that scout rifle that sucks right now, 2 weeks from now, it might be the best gun you have.
Yep.
Smart. Yeah. Save anything that looks like if it's got a good perk combo. Hold on to it. Hold on to it.
For sure. Let's see, a couple other just real quick things here coming in 2.0.4 is they're adding transmat effects to your collections under the flare category, so you'll be able to track all those there. I guess there was an issue where the Gambit invasion portal would not reactivate once used. I've never had that happen. And then this was kind of a funny one. I mean, I don't have the 1,000 voices, but I have seen videos of this where I guess whenever you would strafe or jump, it would just cause this loud screeching sound.
It sounded like me when your fire alarms are going off that one day.
Ow! If you guys haven't seen that, that's on our Twitch channel. Hilarious. All right, here, before we move on here and talk about Update 2.05, I want to thank our friends at Loot Gaming. That's right, these are the guys that can send you loot crates every month themed around video games. And if you remember, they were the ones that did the Destiny 2 loot crate. So this was a very cool crate. They were kind enough to send me one of these things that had a very cool blue Destiny 2 hoodie in it, where it had these interchangeable class patches, but hey, you only needed the Titan one right in there. They also had an Ace of Spades coffee mug that was pretty neat, and an exclusive Shank plushie. You could only get that in this Loot Gaming loot crate. So what is Loot Gaming, you ask? Well, Loot Gaming is a monthly subscription box delivered direct to your door with exclusive pop culture collectibles, apparel, and gear, and they curate everything themselves. So you can only get these items in these crates and nowhere else. No matter what you geek about, this, of course, is for you. Now, they've sold over 30 million crates, and each crate comes with a t-shirt, and it's packed with over $60 of value, and you can get that for less than $29 a month, so, of course, you can't lose. Now, this upcoming month, because it is October, their themed crate is Nightmare. So it's going to feature things from video games such as Soul Calibur 2, Silent Hill, Psychonauts, and the nightmarish Cuphead. If you've played Cuphead, you know, as beautiful as that game looks, as cool as it is friggin' nightmare to play. So this is going to be in this upcoming crate. So if you order, you got to order by this week to guarantee yourself a crate. It is definitely going to sell out. So go to lootcrate.com/Guardian, use our code Guardian, and get yourself 30% off. Before we were offering you 15, now it's 30% off. So get the best surprises each month from the largest geek and gaming subscription company, and you can geek out in style with Loot Crate. I'm going to put this in the show notes, so if you're interested, again, go to lootcrate.com/Guardian, enter our code Guardian, and save yourself 30% off your subscription today. So guys, let's talk about Update 2.05, and this is coming October 30th. And this is kind of a big one, because this really was one of the biggest stories this week, and that was the Malfeasance quest.
Yeah.
And how do you guys say it? Malfeasance? Malfeasance? I've kind of heard.
It's Malfeasance.
Yeah, Malfeasance. Yeah.
And the Gambit boss, the spawn rate changes. Now this is not. He's not spawning as quickly as people want, and because it is a big part of the quest, people want this weapon, so they are bringing in some changes to how he is going to spawn. So during week 3 of the curse cycle, that's when he comes in. This is when the full curse is in the Dreaming City. The Ascendant Primeval Servitor is supposed to spawn. I guess it says it's supposed to have the same chance to spawn as any other Primeval. They're going to make it that point. So right now, what do we have? We have the big guy that
there's 3 different bosses.
Yeah, there's 3 different bosses.
That'll make it Vex. 4. So you're basically going to have a 25% chance.
So you're going to have a 25% chance now to have him spawn.
Thank God.
Of course, you need to beat him, right, to get the quest to drop. But they're also going to increase the chance for him to drop during the lesser curse weeks, as they're phrasing it. But it'll still be lower than during a full curse week. So, you know, you can still be chasing it.
The one thing that they are changing, though, before, with now the way that it is, you automatically would get the exotic Sparrow, and so there's something else that you would get. When the ship, right? Yep. And now it's just going to be a chance to get it because it's spawning more more readily. So that's fine.
Vanity items are no longer guaranteed drops for subsequent boss kills after you earn the quest. Instead, they will now only have a chance to drop. So,
right.
I've seen him once when I was live doing the Bungie bounty on me last week, and literally that was a horror show because I was against a teabag, not even a stack team, a teabagging stack team, where they were bagging me the whole time, and then we got the big meatball to spawn, and we just got wasted, so there was no point, you know.
Yep. So that was kind of the ultimate teabag, right? Was
I mean,
them killing the boss.
I want the gun, but at the same time, I used it. Bagged. I recorded myself playing with it for 2 hours when I went to Bungie Studios, and it's a cool exotic. I mean, I have 3 exotics right now. There's a lot more that I want rather than Malfeasance right now, but yeah, you know. If it rolls around, look, man, I am taking my time through this DLC. You know, everyone, because I finally did the raid this week, and I'm not one of those type. Like normally, I used to be raid on day 1, raid on week 1. I took my time getting up to about like 380. So when I went into the raid this weekend, on 2 of my characters, it was so stress free. You know what I mean? So much. It's like, because that I think is a big problem with this community is they just burn through content, and Bungie gave you a way where every day there's a little something you could do, whether it's a daily challenge or working on your weekly challenges to get one power level above where you are and slow that grind down. But everyone just wants everything instantly, which will lead into the old Riven cheese debate, which we'll get into at the end.
Dude, I just got to point out, Aaron Burrell in the chat said you got meat bagged.
Meat bagged. I was gonna say something.
Oh, I love it. We got to start that hashtag. Get meat bagged.
So I started a thing earlier. I don't know if you guys saw, but I accidentally said crossbows, and it was like, oh god, hashtag crossbows is going everywhere. So crossbows would be sick. I'd be running around like Chewbacca. So
that's what happens, dude. If the meatball spawns and you lose, you got meat bagged.
You get meat bagged.
I love it. I love it. It's so good.
So
oh man, Sean, real quick, kind of off topic here from 2.05. We talked about it a little bit last week with Fallout on the show when you weren't here. And what do you think of the idea? Because everybody's complaining about exotics not dropping as often, and when you really look at the exotics that could drop for you, it's really just armor pieces, right? Because all the other exotics are mainly tied to quests or achievements, like let's say completing the raid, right? Like we don't really have those guns that can drop, do we?
Well, look, I'm trying to look at DestinyStats.com if they would put all the exotics in one place, which I don't see them all. But I mean, like, I would like the Trinity Ghoul. I would like the Two-Tailed Fox.
Two-Tailed Fox I want.
I want the
1,000 voices. I need 1,000 voices.
Cerberus +1. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It just seems like this DLC, like we're not getting as many exotics drop because there isn't as many that really could drop, right? There's paths to many of the exotics, which is something the community wanted. We wanted to say, hey, if I want to chase a gun, here are the steps I need to do to get it, and we have that now.
Yep.
So,
but for armor, I do not have one piece of new exotic armor. I'm looking at DestinyStats.com right now, and you're right. There's not many weapons. There's only a few. I would like those,
and many of them are tied to the quest, right?
Yep. Well, Malfeasance Chaperone is tied to a quest. I don't know why it's. Oh wait, there's a new sword. Oh, that's right. Yeah, there is. Yeah, Black Talon.
I have Black Talon.
That's right. You had that drop, Kate.
I have Black Talon.
Wave Splitter. I need the Cerberus +1. I need the Two-Tailed Fox, and I need the 1,000 voices.
Sean, you know how I got Black Talon?
Wow.
Turning in stuff to Banshee and leveling Banshee up.
Oh, dude, I gave Banshee that asshole like 8,000 gunsmith materials.
I only said it because I knew you would flip out.
Dude, he could F right off. He gave me nothing.
You had more of those materials than anybody on the planet.
He just left and said, "Keep that thing oiled, Guardian." I said F off Bungie. I mean Banshee. But no, I mean like for armor, I have nothing. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
I got the what are the boots that you can slide, you reflect things, Antius wards. I got those. Yeah.
And the third eye, we got Mask of the Third Eye. I got that as well.
I did get the right. Yeah.
And then I have the chest piece for the Titan, or the not chest of Inmost Light. It's basically like the counter to that. What the hell is it called? I'm looking it up right now. The heart of Inmost Light. Right. So basically, when I use an ability, it makes my other abilities go faster, and they're a little bit more powerful. So, dude, I'm constantly, anytime my barricade is up to drop, I'm just dropping it, because then it makes my grenades go faster. If I'm running as my Titan with the giant maul hammer, I can throw my hammer more often. So every time I'm throwing that throwing hammer, I pick it up quickly, and then it just makes everything else just go faster, faster, faster. So it's like constantly increasing my recharge rate, which is awesome. So that's a great chess piece for Titans. Let's get back to 2.05, and the quitter protection is coming back with Gambit. So it says they're working on developing a change to Gambit matchmaking that will help with the extended load times. It says when this change is released, we will be re-enabling quitter penalties for the Gambit playlist. However, we have increased the number of games players can leave before they are restricted from the playlist. We are making this change to help mitigate some situations where bad internet, of course, results in you getting restricted. So,
I hope it's good that, okay, great, you do it once, you don't get a penalty, but I hope it's not 3. I mean, I hope it's not 4. You know what I mean? It's like, because they're long enough games that if you do 2 in a certain amount of time, I hope you get penalized pretty hard, because it's ridiculous to, look, it's not going your way, just leave. So fine, work on something else. Work on learning the map. Work on do something.
Here's an idea, Caleb.
Just bailing.
Here's an idea. So many of you know Caleb and I did Paragon Radio. We played Paragon, big MOBA, right? We were big into MOBAs. I still continue to play many MOBAs now. When you play a MOBA game, it's a big commitment. So when someone leaves your game, man, it's like the worst. It's like, here I'm playing this match that's going to take me 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yeah. God, it sucks. Which, a Gambit match, hey, some of those matches can go pretty long. What if they added in the surrender option, like a MOBA has, where, usually in a MOBA, you play it 5 minutes in. If you're losing and you're not thinking it's going, you can put a vote out to your team and say, let's surrender. So what if you could do that? And then, if somebody does it and the surrender fails, usually like in most MOBAs, like a minute 30 or 3 minutes later, you can put it up again. Like, all right, guys, we fought for another 3 minutes. It isn't going anywhere. Let's not waste anybody's time and let's get the heck out of here. Now, the only issue would be when you have quests for powerful gear or bounties, things like that. Right. That's where people could probably, game that system. However, you could say you have to complete a full match to make those count. So if you win a match by people quitting, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that would be kind of neat if they added it.
I just hit Legend in Gambit finally, and trying to, because you hit Legend, and then to reset it, you still got to do one more level, right? That's a nightmare. Because I'm constantly, I can't win a game. Ever since I hit Legend, I cannot win a game. Every game, well, I'm playing solo, obviously. Every single game is against a stacked team of 4. That's why I really think we need a rotating freelance playlist where every 2 weeks we finally, the solo games have been where it's all randoms. Those have been the only games I've ever played where it's been competitive, or at least somewhat back and forth. Whenever it's against a stacked team of 4, nope.
Most fun I've had is we had a team from Guardian 1. We had Paris and me and Paris' son actually, and Khalif. We ran through that and we just crushed and we had a blast.
Playing in a team is so much fun.
Absolutely so much fun to play a team. Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you. If you want to try and play solo, there needs to be a solo playlist. Absolutely.
In fact, you know what? It's so much fun playing as a team. When they do the freelance playlist, have the other playlist be team only, right? So that's nonstop fun because that's competitive. 2 teams going against each other.
Yeah. Competitive Gambit would be great.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see some changes coming with power ammo changes, and this is a big deal. So the sleeper we found out a few weeks ago, they're going to be changing what the aim assist.
Just the aim assist.
The aim assist. Well, here's another change that's coming to it. A quote unquote nerf to the sleeper is that the ammo crate will now grant 2 shots instead of 4. So now when you use those shots, I mean, it's going to be, pretty impactful.
You can't get a team wipe with sleeper.
No, because I mean, that was one thing with Gambit. Like it was great going. Yeah, exactly. It was great going in and getting that 1 kill on the invader or whatever. But sometimes I would just save my shots for the primeval when they spawned. And now it's like you really got to save it. It's like, is it worth using it on the other team, or is it better off to use it on the primeval? So I think that's huge. And then swords are going up to 12. So swords are getting a little bit of a buff in terms of ammo, which I think is awesome.
Yeah. I find that the sleeper doesn't do that much damage to the primeval. You know where I use the sleeper?
Well, it depends. So Shawnee, real quick, and I'm going to send it back to you, but it depends. Yep. So if you wait until you clear out the what are they called?
Basically.
No. The
wizards.
What are they called? They're called something, but. If you clear those out first, and then you have a Solar Titan that can melting point the boss, and then go in there with Sleeper, forget it. Wiped.
Yeah, no, I know. But I'm saying play solo, I never run into that. So I'm saying
that's
from just a regular Sleeper thing. So where I use the Sleeper is I use it on the high-value targets invading, or invaders, and then I use it on the little dudes who are flickering, like, kind of glowing, because those guys are usually one-shot. Sometimes those Hydras get really annoying. To me, the best weapon for primeval melting is always Ikelos, man. Melee something next to it, run up to it, and just start hitting. Don't actually, because too many times I'll melee the boss, and he'll just send me flying. Melee and add near the boss, get Trench Bow to proc, run up to the primeval, and just Ikelos,
Right.
Let's see what else we got. They're rebalancing the functionality and distribution and dynamo perks. So players,
the dynamo perk.
I'm so pissed about that, man.
So requiring players to be near opponents for the super energy benefits.
Yep, I put a dynamo perk on 2 pieces of armor. I think it's anything that recharges my super quicker is what I want. And you need to be closer to opponents for it to get that benefit instead of it just being a constant benefit.
Well, that's fine, because in PvE, I'll literally just wait for two ads to come near me and pop
PvE,
my rift. You know?
Right, of course.
Yeah.
But PvP is where you want.
Yeah. But actually, hunters can do that because they're so squirrely anyway, just bunny hopping around and dodging. Wait till you come near an enemy, dodge around them. But wait, it has to be more than one, or is it just... Can it be...
No, it says near opponents, but I think it
near opponents,
opponents, but...
All right, I'll do a test on it to see if it works. When they do the hot patch, I'll go into private matches and see if it works. If I just dodge around just one person, Yep.
Let's see. They're increasing sword damage in PvE to address player feedback.
Because no one uses swords anymore.
I used it like right in the beginning, like when Forsaken first came out. I'm not using it anymore, but I'm not using it because I got a tracking cluster bad omen.
Right.
Like,
you got bad omens.
Why would I? I think I used the sword for the first time this week when we were we had to run out and get some ghost fragments.
We got our mini Gallarhorn, and I'm like, okay, why am I using the sword? Like, that's the point of that.
I don't think it has anything to do with the sword, because to me, like, the sword still hits really hard, I think, when you use it, but it's just there's better options right now when we're in the more difficult content right now. Once you hit the Dreaming City, like, there really is no reason to use a sword.
When you're lower level and you can't get near things, a sword isn't the way to go.
No.
And not even that. When you're fighting bosses where one of their move sets or whatever is to stomp
you, right?
I'm not going to go in with a sword. I'm going to go in with a rocket, because that's
the only thing I will say is Black Talon. I can throw that thing.
You can. That's right.
That's an exotic. It's a different deal. Right.
Let's see. They're increasing fusion rifle damage in PvE. So
that's sweet.
Is that going to be Sleeper's going to be a little bit more stronger maybe at that point?
Queensbreaker's bow maybe.
Yep. They're increasing the viability of the Malfeasance in PvE and Gambit activity. So, there you go. I think, people may be chasing that weapon now a little bit more if it's going to be much more viable in PvE.
Yeah, we talked about that before, Shawnee. I mean, we weren't, I wasn't so crushed about this whole Malfeasance boss thing not spawning because I wasn't that crazy about needing this gun. But if that gun's going to get a buff, then, hey, maybe that's something we need to look at. So,
well, look at it this way. It's a good gun. It's fun. It's not Hawkmoon. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, is it going to take up my exotic slot?
Okay, let's put it this way. Am I going to use it over Crimson for hardcore sweaty activities? No. You know what I mean? Crimson's going to give me my health back. It has no recall. Malfeasance has no recall either, but the way Malfeasance works, I think it's really good in PvE is...
You got to get a number of shots in.
You fire slugs, and then I think it's when you hit 5 slugs, they all explode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a good gun, I think. There might be a skill gap for PvP, so if you have really good aim with it. I am terrible with hand cannons, except for Crimson when it comes to PvP, so...
Crimson's basically a pulse rifle, let's be honest.
I love Crimson, yeah. That's a fun gun, man.
Sean in the chat, Sean McCann, he's saying that Sleeper and Queensbreaker are linear fusion, so they won't get the buff.
Oh, that's right. Fusions. Linear fusions. I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know about that.
Let's see. They're adjusting the visibility of the Titan's banner shield as well, making it easier for players to see through the effects.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it was blocking visibility with that. So that's good.
Let's see real quick here before we move on and talk about exotic rewards getting the buff. Let's thank our friends over at On Air PC. You guys have heard us talking about them here on the show. And if you are looking to play some games live on the internet on a PC, On Air PC is the best way for you to do so. All you got to do is give them a call at 330-850-1525. Give Ryan and the team a call over there. They get on the phone with you. They talk to you, see what game you want to play, and they will build the PC for you. So unlike other websites you can go to, or even if you go to the store and just say, hey, I'm just going to buy the most expensive PC that's there because it's got to be good, right? No. Talk to these guys. Talk to Ryan and his team. They will tell you exactly what you need for the game you want to play and how to stream it. You tell them what you want to use. Are you going to stream on Twitch? You're going to stream on Mixer, YouTube? What is it? They will build the PC custom for you. They'll play it for 24 hours, then ship it off to you, get back on the phone with you, and help you set it up and get you live streaming on the internet. So again, 330-850-1525. And if you buy from them here now, they're going to hook you up with Destiny 2 Forsaken, so you can be streaming Forsaken right now on PC to the service of your choice. K-Dub, you've actually had some experience working with Ryan and the team on a laptop for your son, right?
Yeah, well, my laptop that I actually use for work
that's
now,
right.
actually, and he's actually working on a desktop for my son, whose birthday is in November. So yeah, they're great, and they don't. The best thing about them, honestly, is that they're not trying to upsell you or anything. They're just trying to get you to get what you need at the best cost. So they're awesome. They're honest dudes.
And I'm sure people have seen it. Destiny 2 looks incredible on PC. The 60 frames is ridiculous. So if you want to be playing 60 frames Destiny 2, call these guys, 330-850-1505. You'll find it in the show notes or in the YouTube stream if you're watching it there. Call them today and they can help you out. Let's talk about exotics, guys. They are adjusting the exotic rewards to help reduce the number of duplicate drops. Woo! This is huge, right? I think everybody's excited. Now, first of all, you have to have exotics drop in the first place, right? What's that?
I said I'm the only person that wasn't affected by this. I still have not had an exotic drop that was an old exotic.
The only exotic I wear is Ophidian Aspect. My Titan and it's so funny with weapon transfers. My Titan with barely doing milestones is now 591 with just transferring weapons over. But yeah, the only exotic I wear is Ophidian Aspect on all 3 characters. I mean, I have nothing on my Hunter, all legendary. On my Titan, all legendary. Wow. I can't get anything to drop.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on, again, we talked a little bit about this with Fallout. It depends on loadout. Yeah. So when PvP, I'm going to be wearing One Eye Mask. Maybe I'm using Black Talon. Maybe I'm using, different things. And then in PvP, it's different. So it just depends on what you want to do and what activity you're doing, what exotic you want to use. So it's a big deal as far as loadouts go, which is why we were talking about the infusion economy last week and the Masterwork cores and all that stuff. It's great that they're making those changes, because if you're a player and you should be a player that changes your loadout depending on the activity that you're doing, you need to be able to infuse stuff. So I absolutely use different exotics and different loadouts and different weapons and different armor. So that's a big deal. It's really good. So it's good that we're not going to get so many dupes.
Yep.
Yeah.
They said, you may still receive dupes, but there will be better chances for the Forsaken exotics when receiving the exotic reward. So I think that's cool. Let's see. The chance for a Nightfall unique reward to drop will increase each time a Nightfall is completed without a unique drop. So I think that's huge. I think that's great for people that are grinding out those Nightfall rewards. Back when they originally started the Nightfall rewards, I know some people were just grinding so much to get some of those weapons, but now they can drop. And that kind of brings up a thought, Sean. You weren't here last week. We talked with Fallout about this as well. Do you think they should just bring back just like strike-specific loot again, just to give you reasons to go back and do some of those strikes? And one of the ideas was maybe like you make it like a legendary version, but maybe a not as good version of the Nightfall drop. Or even make it just like some sort of like like a Titan mark or a Warlock bond, whatever it is, just something themed to that strike. Like just bring that back. I don't know. What do you
100%.
think?
I think they should bring that back. They should bring back treasure key, skeleton keys. They should bring back chests. They should have weapons and armor exactly like D1. Give us because look, we're starting to enter that stage where between this DLC and then the Black Armory, we need things to do. You know what I mean? I know faction rallies hopefully will be coming back before then, but we need more things to do. You know what I mean? We have the freebie, like Curse Cycle. So those were things that we did when there was downtime. I mean, I used to run the what was the Venus? The Black Garden Strike that could give you the Imago loop. I forgot what it's called. Undying Mind, I think it was. I used to run that.
Was that the one where you dropped down in and he was the big guy, kind of the big like?
No, you're thinking of Alakur.
No.
It was a huge Vex Hydra. Whatever. It was a Vex.
The Hydra, it was the giant Vex Hydra. That one, where you kind of run around in the circle around.
So I would run that a gazillion times with skeleton keys, trying to get an Imago loop or whatever, this and that. So yeah, I think they should bring that back. Bring back skeleton keys. Bring back just reasons.
Skeleton keys. That's right.
Because like if you had skeleton keys, you'd be hesitant. All right, do I want to do for 10 hours running the same strike Omnigo? No, that's boring. Oh wait, I have 5 keys. Well, what's a weapon that I like? All right, do you know what XYZ strike can drop this weapon? I'm going to go grind that strike 5 times. Yeah. I'll run out of keys. I'll wait till next week and go see the spider or whoever is going to sell me those keys again.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about that at a pretty good length last week with Fallout about strike-specific stuff, and we absolutely agree that should be a thing. Absolutely. I mean,
because right now there is really no reason. Once you hit kind of that soft cap, there's no reason to run the strikes, man. Like really, there just isn't.
Unless you have I want that pulse rifle that was around about a week ago. This past week we ran the Nightfall 2 times. We got the 100K score, and out of those 2 runs, one of us got the new grenade launcher, the kinetic grenade launcher. But then if we could farm it over, the week gets the pulse rifle. I still never got that. What's that one auto rifle that came from Savathun's songs? That Duty Bond or Duty Bound? One of those, whatever it was called, I think. I want to get that auto rifle. You know what I mean? So, yeah, bring them back so you could just fire up that strike. And if you have keys or something, you know, to unlock something, you get a chance at it.
Let's see. Here's a somewhat of a fix to the Masterwork core problem that's been going on. They're adding Masterwork cores as rewards for specific spider wanted bounties and those general scrapper bounties.
Yes.
Drop. So there you go. There's one way. Which I think that makes sense to tie the cores to those bounties because those are easy to go and pick up. Most of them are fairly easy. I mean, obviously, there's the one big one every week that you have to do. But I think that's cool. I think that's a great place to put them in. For him to
I was so desperate the other day to infuse my raid gear. I gave the spider 340 legendary shards for one Masterwork.
Oh my god!
I was that desperate.
Are you serious? So, oh my god!
Dude, the raid gear looks so good on my hunter. Yeah. Not so much of the warlock. It looks good. The helmet's a little silly looking, but on the hunter, it looks so badass, man. I was like, I want to infuse it so bad, you know.
Well, Sean, I hadn't actually run into until recently. I think it was either yesterday or today. I got one of the drops I got where the more you buy from him, it costs more, right?
Yes, yeah. It starts off at 10.
I didn't even know
I didn't
that.
realize.
I'm just hitting the button and it was like, you know,
dude,
4,
I
20,
did the
like
same
20,
thing.
40, 80.
I didn't realize until after I was like, wait, where did all of my whatever it was that I was using? It's like, what? How did I just lose like 500 of those? I was like, yeah. It was. I didn't realize till I had heard because I was just going bing, 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 and then I was like, wait a minute, what the hell? Yeah, it totally happened to me. Yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship with it, but I do like the fact that they're adding an MMO-esque type of feeling. Like, I just ran out of phase glass needles today, right? And he was not selling them. Now I could either wait to infuse my Ophidian. I mean,
Go see Ashmere.
Well, yeah, I went to Ashmere. I did his 3 bounties. I grabbed a few chests, and I had enough to infuse my Ophidian aspects.
I'm very familiar with the. I need some phase glass needles.
Nice phase glass needles. I fell down the stairs. Cabal again? My head. Blasted rocks.
I've been on the phase glass needles grind. Yes,
but it's cool. I think what you were getting at, Sean, is it's cool. We can go out and either buy it or you actually. It somewhat is.
It adds more to the game.
Yeah, I would say it's different than like if you think back to D1, like getting the materials on the planets were. I don't know. There was just something about it that was so grindy and so rough until they fixed all that. Now that you have the option, you can either buy it or you can go out in the world, and even going out in the world doesn't seem as, I don't know, as grindy as it was before.
I mean, to Bungie's defense, like they have to fine-tune things, and they always will continue to do that. When D1 came out, to upgrade one piece of gear that you wanted, and you got lucky to get dropped, which was even rarer, you had to go sit around the Hellmouth and go around in circles getting helium filaments, you know? Then they adjusted it where you can buy those things. So we're in the stage right now where we have a new economy. Bungie has a history of now tweaking that economy so that it's not too easy and it won't be too hard to get those Masterwork cores. And the spider bounties are fun. I don't like the ones where I have to go sit at the Glade of Echoes and wait for
a specific.
You know what, Sean? Those are the ones I don't do. I've done it. I do all the other ones where it's like go to this X place, you'll find them there. But anyone where it's like, oh, he's kind of got to be in this area and he may spawn. Nope.
This may sound stupid, but does he have does he have bounties where that guy is in a lost sector and I kill him and that's it? Or are they all, and I'm talking about not the weekly wanted bounty, all the other ones he has up top. Are they all, because I only did one, that's where I got my Lord of Wolves from, but the ones that I picked up were I had to wait for an HVT. Does he have bounties where you go there and he's there?
I think he did. Well, I think, didn't we, like when you play the campaign, before, like to get his favor or whatever, didn't you have to run like 5 bounties for him before then he would tell you like where, until you unlocked all the Barons? I think there was like, the only 5, I just picked them all up, but the only 5 that I did were go to this lost, or it would say something like go to the hole in the EDZ, or it would list some name and you would go to this area and it was a lost sector, and in the lost sector is where that person would be. And those were the only ones I did to just get the 5 or whatever it was. There was a certain number that you needed in the campaign. But yeah, so some of those are there, but the ones that are just like, you know, hang out here and look for this guy. Nope, not going to do that. Let's see, we got some info on the next raid layer. Well, not really, but I guess a little bit of a tease. And this is from the raid team. They're saying that, don't forget, the Black Armory raid layer is coming in December. So
December, don't forget.
Yeah, if you are a annual pass, I was about to say season pass, an annual pass holder, Black Armory will be something available to you in December, and the new raid layer is coming with that, of course, which many of us knew. But for those kind of just wondering what's next with the raid, they're moving on. You're going to get the Black Armory raid layer. Have we heard anything? And this is, I think, kind of what he was hinting at. We don't know anything about a prestige mode.
They
right?
kind of said they aren't going down that route. They're not going that
right.
route. They are
no prestige. Your clan has a bounty that's a challenge. Like last week or this week was Witch. That was a challenge to give you an extra powerful drop where you had to do what was the second boss's name? Shuro, I think. Shuro Chi, where you can, if anyone gets shot by her, just blasted, not killed, just shot by her, challenge failed. They decided to just go with, this is the way we created the raid, this is the way we want to do it. I get a feeling the raid lair is going to be a Scorn raid, I think. You know what I mean? Or a Scorn raid lair, I think, you know? Just because if we look at Leviathan, it was in the Leviathan, but it was Vex, and then it went back to the Cabal again. So I would like a Scorn raid lair. I think that would be awesome, you know?
Yeah, I mean, one of these raid layers has to be that, right? I mean, they got to get that at some point, I would think.
Yeah, it's got to be Scorn. Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's move on here to our clan spotlight, the part of the show where we will let you find a clan or basically advertise for your clan. So you can find the link in our show notes or over on our website, theguardiansofdestiny.com. Go over there, fill out the form. You can tell us about your clan. And if you're looking for a clan, here is a clan for you. Kate, they got all kinds. I'm looking at all these links these guys have. They got all kinds of stuff for this clan. So who do we have this week?
This is a larger clan. This is a little bit of a longer one, but it's because they're a very extensive clan that covers all aspects as far as PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And it is Future War Cult. Ooh. Funny, right? It's pretty simple. So on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, it says we exist across all Destiny 2 platforms and a variety of social media. Xbox One clan number 1 is Future War Cult. PS4 clan is Future War Cult 1. PC clan number 1, Future War Cult 4, which is like IV, like Roman numerals. They use Roman numerals in all the numbers. PC clan number 2 is Future War Cult 5. Clan number 3 is Future War Cult 6. Xbox One clan number 2 is Future War Cult 6. They've got FWC Discord, an FWC Facebook, and an FWC Twitter. So hit these guys up, but they are a pretty big clan. And let me read what they got to say. It says, we started very simply as a Facebook page for followers of the FWC. We eventually created a Bungie clan, which took off quickly. That led to expanding into other social media. By the time D2 launched, we had well over 3,000 followers, and our single clan was packed. When Destiny 2 launched and a much bigger emphasis was placed on clan membership, we couldn't abide for the number of people we didn't have room for. So we want to be an inclusive group, so we started creating additional clans to meet that demand. At last count, 2 Xbox One clans are full, and a third is growing rapidly. After a slow start, our PS4 side has suddenly begun growing, and our PC clans have grown so rapidly that we think they may eventually eclipse the membership numbers of the consoles combined. To put it simply, we're a large and diverse community that will always have room for another Guardian. Our 3 Xbox clans have 195 and 5 members, respectively. The PS4 clan has 96 members. Our 2 PC clans will have over 150 members, so 101, 50 in the other. All of these clans coexist within our Discord channel. We run community nights on a semi-regular basis as a way of getting more people involved. The contact is going to be on Xbox, so the initial contact hit them up on Xbox is Battle Meleon, so that's Battle. Meleon is MELEON 87, and Matter Splatter, which is kind of funny. It's MATTRSPLATTR, or Sergeant, so it's SGT, Sergeant Humpty on Xbox. But you can always just go to the BNet page and look up FWC on whatever console you're on, the Future War Cult. It'll either be Future War Cult 1, Future War Cult 4. You'll see the different things depending on what console you're on, and hit those guys up. They're also on Twitter, Facebook, and Discord, so you can connect with them. If you want to get into a large clan that's very active, that's a great way. If you want to get, doing some of these things like raids and stuff that you can't get into because you're a solo player or because you don't have enough friends, you just found about 5,000 friends. So
there you go.
Go hit those guys up.
Yep. So again, if you want to have your clan spotlighted here on the show, you can find it in the show notes or on our website, theguardiansofdestiny.com. Now, the next part of the show usually is where we allow you guys to have your voices heard here on the show by emailing us, feedback@theguardiansofdestiny.com. But we can get emails this week, guys, so send those in if you want your email to be read here on the show. This is the part of the show to do that. But I do want to talk a little bit about the raid cheese conversation. But before we do, real quick here, let's thank our final sponsor here of the night, and that is GamerGoo. That's our good buddies over at GamerGoo. You've heard us talk about them here on the show. We were partnered up right next to them at Guardian Con this past year, and we discovered GamerGoo. That's right. This is a basically not deodorant, antiperspirant for your hand, but it is also a deodorant, right? I mean, they have these great smells, cinnamon,
that one's orange. I got cinnamon. I love the cinnamon. It's red hot.
Yeah. It's great. You put it on your hand. So if you've been playing those sweaty Gambit matches, or if you're in a sweaty raid or whatever it is, your hands get real sweaty on the controller, you put this on there. It smells great, stops your hands from sweating, and it's great. You can get a free trial. Go to gamergoo.com. They can send this out to you. You can check it out for yourselves. We've actually had a few people emailing us saying they've actually tried it, and they're really, really enjoying it. So we love it. K-Dub and I are using it all the time.
I got a funny story real quick. So this weekend, it's hot. I'm in South Florida. And it's starting to cool off, and I got about 2 more weeks until it's like 72 degrees down here constantly for the next 6 months. But my feet were literally sweating on my flip flops. I put it on the bottom of my feet.
No,
swear to God.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. Because it even disinfected.
Yes, I do.
It worked. Yes, I did. It even disinfected my flip flops. It was freaking brilliant. It was awesome. It was the smartest thing I ever did.
That's
awesome. So if you want to get in on the action, go to gamergoo.com. Use our code Guardian. You can get yourself 10% off your order. And like we said, you can also try it out there. Gamergoo.com. They got the free trial. They will send it out to you. Try it out. And you can get your 2-ounce tubes 10% off. Use promo code Guardian. So again, thanks to the guys over at GamerGoo for sponsoring the podcast. All right, well, let's talk about this raid discussion, because again, we didn't get any emails from you guys, and this is something Sean made a video about it. And Sean, you completed the raid this week, so you're saying how great the raid is. But
well, I did a whole
we'll talk about your raid. Yeah, let's talk about your raid experience.
Yep.
Talk about it.
Yeah, they knocked it out of the park, man. It's I felt like the Leviathan was very puzzly. This was a really good mix of killing and mechanics. Not so much puzzly, I would say, more mechanics. When I was concerned when I first went in there, when I was seeing all the wish symbols. There's like 30 of them. Well, not literally 30. And I was like, wait a second, I got to remember all those symbols in this small brain of mine? No, those are symbols that are easy call-outs. Dragon looking left, snakes looking at each other, fishes in a circle. That's all you need to know. And there's so many, some parts are mechanical and killing. Some parts are just straight up killings. I made this one joke in part of the video that the second encounter, in an interview back in 1985, Slayer was asked, how do you describe your music? And Dave Lombardo and Tom Araya said, speed, aggression, and violence. That's how this encounter was. Non-stop action. You got a timer. You got to kill everything, then make it to these plates. Everyone's got to call out to stand on a plate, kill everything while you're getting overrun on ads. When you make it to Riven, you have 3 people here, 3 people here. Some are upstairs, some are downstairs. Some person has to stand on a plate. He sees all the symbols. That guy tells him the symbol. He then calls out, you need to stand. And WTF Game Nation, huge shout out to them. Check them out on Twitter. Check them out on Twitch. They stream every day. Well, not every day because they're off today. But they stream on all platforms. They do raid educations. They don't do raid carries. They will teach you the raid. We're at a part. You haven't done this yet. You don't feel comfortable with it? Well, you're going to do it. They're extremely motivating, extremely encouraging. It's not one of those like when you screw up, it's like, why did you screw? It's more like, okay, let's reset. Let's figure out what happened. Let's change that. Let's give it a shot again, And it's like between the 2 raids, they gave me different opportunities. It's like, I've never done the prisons or I've never done this. Well, let's do it, And man, beautiful, long raid, fun raid. And I can't say enough about it. Just when you think it's over, it's not over. You kill Riven and then there's still more stuff to do. And it was epic. And how it ties into the Dreaming City and changes the Dreaming City. It makes sense when you complete it as to why the Dreaming City changed and has a curse going on with it. And it's a fun raid. Wednesday night, actually, I'll be streaming it right here live on YouTube. I'll be doing a couple of runs with the WTF Game Nation guys again. So nice. They'll be streaming on Twitch, and then I'll be streaming right here on YouTube. Yeah. Yep. So great raid.
Awesome. Those guys are great. WTF Game Nation, we've had them on the show, and K-Dub and I, all of us actually have raided with them before. We can't say enough about those guys. Go check them out. But Sean, I want to talk about the video you made and kind of what I've heard a lot of discussion this past week about the raid cheese. And for longtime Destiny players, you can remember back to Destiny 1, when it came to the Vault of Glass, there was a way to cheese back then. And then when Dark Below came out and Crota was out, there was a way to cheese back then. And now it appears we have a Riven cheese, and everybody is going crazy whether you should do it, you shouldn't do it. tell everybody, I guess, kind of what is, I guess, the cheese itself this time around, and where are you on? What side of the argument are you on, and kind of what's this all about?
So it's debatable whether it's a cheese because you're not actually doing an exploit to kill Riven, right? So it's not like pulling the cord out on your router to stop Crota. It's not like using the bridge to jump over it or ice break the ogre to get everything to despawn. Like the third encounter, Morgoth, is this huge ogre. We do all the mechanics. We grab the Taken Essence. We do all this. And then we come to his back. When it's time to DPS, we put a Well of Radiance. And all 6 of us with Ikelos shotguns kill him in 10 seconds, right? Is that considered an exploit? No. Is it considered a cheese? I'm going to say it's a not borderline cheese. I don't know if it was meant to be like that, but it is. You rapidly
None of the bosses are meant to die in 10 seconds. Is what you're trying to get at.
Right. However, you're still doing mechanics to get you to the point where you could do DPS. Riven, as moving parts, and is created from Bungie with a whiteboard. I'm just imagining whiteboarding. We want to do this, to then designing, to then play testing for months, years, whatever it is it takes them to create a player experience for 6 people to go in, enjoy themselves, and get loot. However, as I said this in a video, we live in a society in 2018 where everyone wants everything instantly. I want the loot. I want the loot. I want the loot. You get the loot. You're 600 power, and now you're effing bored, right? So what do you do with yourself now? So there's a cheat. Well, okay, I'm calling it a cheese. There's a way where if you do a certain thing and you all use buffs, I think you use the Sentinel shield, you use a Well of Radiance and probably a Melting Point, I think. And everyone stands there with cluster bomb rockets and you kill Riven in, I think, 10 seconds, I think, or something like that, right? So to me, you're bypassing all the mechanics, and I'm really trying to not to come off as an elitist, but more because I want people to experience a fucking fun experience. I'm sorry, right? It's a fun experience, you know? I've been holding it back all night. You know, it's a fun experience, you know, and you're bypassing that. And then, so you do that, you get your loot. Now, in a recent interview with Games Radar, they interviewed Joe Blackburn about certain things about the raid and some things they might consider exploits or cheeses. And one of them, he said, that's definitely an exploit. We're going to fix it. When they brought up the thing about the 10-second Riven kill, he said, we're exploring some options and we want to respond to the community feedback before we make a decision on it, you know? So technically, it's not an exploit. But in my opinion, I mean, it's not Velveeta cheese. It's not sharp. It's not sharp or pepper jack. I think it's kind of like yellow American or maybe white American cheese, where it's kind of cheese. You're bypassing
the bottom line is you don't have to do all the mechanics that were intended to kill the boss.
Yeah.
So is that a cheese or not? That's debatable. Look, they've figured out a way that, I mean, it's similar that we've done things with bubbles. We've done things with all kinds of stuff that we've figured out a way to kill a boss quicker. They figured out a way to kill these bosses really, really fast using legit stuff that they've given us that they wrote in the code. But the reality of it is it wasn't the way that it was intended to be fought, which makes it seem like a little bit of a cheese. Now, it's not pulling a LAN cable out cheese, but it is kind of doing something that wasn't intended to be used to kill the boss. But hey, that's like, when have we not had that?
Yeah. I almost wonder what's the fix, because really, like, we've been asking for a long time to give us support classes, and you know how we wanted all the different class abilities to really basically all work together in this perfect meld of you know, giving us all power. And here we have an example where some people out there theory crafted what is the which we do this always in the raids, but they really found the perfect way to murder Riven literally within 10 seconds, which is awesome when you think about it. But again, not working as intended. They want people to be in that encounter a little bit longer. That was the intent of it. And now what do they do to change that? I guess the only way is they have to nerf some of those abilities, but when you nerf it, you can't nerf it for that encounter.
All they need to do is,
what do they do?
All they need to do is have her go immune as soon as they start doing it.
You're right. Yes, she can go immune.
Just have her go immune. And look, I see a lot of people in chat. A lot of people are saying cheese. A lot of people saying not a cheese. Look, man, whether it's cheese or not, maybe, you know what? I'm going to use a different word. It's lame sauce. You know what I mean? You're bypassing the experience. And
it's lame cheese sauce. How about that, Sean?
It's lame sauce. If Bungie decides, based on community feedback, because look, all right, here's another thing that kind of bugs me, and here's some shots being taken right here. Look, the speedrunners, you guys annoy me, all right? And it's Bungie has things in the game that I think they maybe, and I'm just speculating here, maybe put in the game so speedrunners, they can get that video with 2-manning XYZ and 20-minute raid run and this Petra's run. I get it. That's cool. Some people like to watch it. I don't, whatever. But I feel like from a player experience, if Bungie was to then all of a sudden do something where you can't do it, you have no idea how to do Riven in terms of the call-outs, stepping on this plate. The guy that gets the call-out has to figure out, where do I stand? Do I stand here? Do I stand here? And this and that. It was the same thing. I remember when Crota, so many people would cheese the bridge. And because back I was raiding with Rezo and we were making guides on how to do Crota.
Using the sword to...
Well, we only knew how to do it legit.
Yeah.
And I remember then I would do it with other pickup people. And they were like, I don't know how to get across the bridge. And this was like a year after. I'm like, wait a second, the bridge is one of the easiest parts, man. You don't know how to use the bridge? I mean, like, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? So look, I'm not downing you if you do it this way. That's your prerogative. Don't come to me and complain that you're bored because you hit 600 power. And don't come and complain to me when, if they decide to make Riven go immune when you bombard her with rockets like that. And don't come yelling at me because you can't do your speed run or whatever. I mean, look, raids are meant to be, in my opinion, raids are meant to be 6 players go in and spend a night together. They talk about other things besides.
Although I will, the only thing that I will say on the other side of that is, Sean, I haven't gotten to go into the raid yet because I don't have the time. Yeah. And this is the only game I play. I'm on a podcast that does nothing but this game, and I'm busy. And I have a clan full of people, and I have a bunch of friends, and I could absolutely go in there, but I literally don't have the time to go spend 2 hours doing a raid. I just don't right now. So while I understand people that want to get that speed run down, and I've had this discussion with our buddy Strider, that this isn't a racing game. Like, we know we go in to do strikes, and people just and they fly past everything. Look, this is a shooting game. You want to shoot and kill things. So if I agree with you on the part of you should at least learn the mechanics and know how to do it properly. If there's a thing that can then, you know what, you're limited on time and you can get through something quicker to go through. Yeah, I think people are saying it right. It's an exploit, not necessarily a cheese in this instance. But an exploit is still another way of saying you didn't do it the right way. But I think, you know, to each his own. But I agree with you that there's nothing more satisfying in Destiny as when you have a team come together and achieve it the way that it was meant to be achieved and do the mechanics correctly and make it work and kill it. It's brilliant. It's awesome.
A lot of fun. Well, really, I think what's great, where the state that Destiny's in today with Forsaken, is that in the past it just seems like the raid was so much more important, and that's not even talking Destiny 2. I'm just going back to Destiny 1. The raid seemed like it was something you had to like you talked about earlier, Sean. That was, you were just, oh man, I got to level up, I got to do the raid, I got to do it. This go around, the raid is just one piece of so many other things out there. So it's like, personally, I don't need to be stressing the raid right now. K-Dub, I mean, you're talking about it. Like, you don't have the time for it? Dude, that's fine if you don't have the time, because you don't need, you don't have to be doing the raid right now.
Correct.
So, like, I think that's what's great about Forsaken, is it's been built where if you don't have the time for the raid, that's fine. Like, there's so many other things in this game to do. That's cool. Now, real quick, though, I do want to point out, Sean, about the speed runs. Like, there's 2 streams that I watch on Twitch almost religiously every year, and that's Games Done Quick. Because I freaking love speedruns, dude. Now, but I will say, Destiny speedruns, I don't really care about that much. But there is, like, speedrunning is a very big community when it comes to just video games in general. So I do understand people that like to see that. And a lot of those speedruns, when you watch those Games Done Quick, when they stream all week long and they used to be the #1 money raking in charity streams every year. Now Guardian Con has topped them. But like, that's how many of those games are speedrunned, are finding exploits, finding cheeses. I mean, one guy beat Dark Souls they found a little crack in a wall of a 3D rendered wall, and he's able to get through it and get right to the boss and beat the game. Like, that's how that works. So I think some of this can be considered cheesing, but I think you're right, Caleb. This isn't a cheat. In this instance, I think it's more of just an exploit, really, because someone at Bungie probably didn't think people were going to be able to do it this quick. And literally, I think the fix is go in, let's make her immune, even if it's maybe 3 phases or even two phases, whatever it is. That's all they need to do. And then,
it's like, listen, I am kind of being judgmental here, but the bottom line is like the raid was designed to give you loot, sure, but they really designed it for what? A fun player experience. So the person to say to themselves, do I want to have a fun player experience and spend 2 hours, or do I have the time to spend a few hours with some friends doing this? Or do I want to just get my loot? There's people like K-Dub that don't have the time who, you know what, I just want to get this done, want to get that loot. Then there's other people that have no patience whatsoever. They want the loot, and then they get it all, and then they complain they're bored.
Right.
Destiny's trash. Right. Those are the people that annoy the living hell out of me.
Right.
So if you want to speed run it because time is a constraint,
well, I think Shawnee, I think if you're doing the kind of damage that you can do to one phase Riven, if she goes immune, like this happens a lot of times with bosses in Destiny all the time, and strikes of it. It's so you go to a third, it goes immune. You go to another third, it goes immune. You go to another. So you have to 3 phase it. Okay, so deal with it. So that's
and then at that point during one of those phases, you could mess up and we got a team wipe, and we just got to do it again, and that makes your team that much better. So I honestly, that's the fix. I can guarantee you that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, because Shuro,
it's an easy fix.
Because look, we waste Shuro. I mean, Shuro is probably, in my opinion, one of the. Shuro's probably I think aside Riven. Now, actually, Shuro's more fun than Riven because Shuro is just running and action and the time and stress and you're running and killing everything. But every time you do damage to Shuro, we're doing the same thing. We're plopping rifts down. We're all Icolo shotgunning her. We're sleeping her. But she goes immune after 2 seconds because we do so much damage, and then we got to run and kill a whole bunch of other ads, So they do it with her for a reason because they want you to experience to make your way all the way up to the top to the final ledge where you finally take her down and kill her,
the funny part about this is some of this has been caused by the fact that they don't give us enough time to level to go into the raid, because they have to make the boss be able to be killed, at least if you do it all perfectly, to be able to be killed at a level where you go in the raid where they know maybe you're going to be 550 at max, 560, and at 550, 560, 540, wherever those people were going in, they have to be able to at least accomplish it, which, hey, it took the world's first, 23 hours or whatever. So it has to be at least killable at that level. So then now when you get to 580, 590, 600, you're going to melt the crap out of them. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those, it's hard to, that's where I almost wish that it was a longer time frame to get into the raid. And I know they made it 10 days this time, but that's because the gap was huge we went to 600, the top is 600 is what 540 to get in the raid, something like that. So I think if they made that time span longer where people could actually level up higher, and then they made it where you needed to be, let's say that you needed to be 570 to be able to kill the final boss in this with, doing mechanics right. Let's say that that's the case. You had to be 570, the majority of your team, to be able to do enough damage to kill that boss, or maybe they're even immune until you're 570. Like we went into the Ascendant thing this week, and not the Ascendant thing, the Blind Well, and I at tier 4 they were immune to me. Yeah. So maybe it's that. Maybe it's if you recommended power is this, but if you don't get to this power, you're not going to be able to do damage on the final boss. That would give you the incentive to take your time, level up, get to where you need, and then you're not going to have these cheeses, because if you can't even do damage until 570, when you get 600, you're not going to kill them in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Some of the sponsors in chat, or now they call them channel members, Charlie was saying, what do you guys think about the no prestige mode? I was a little bummed out about that, because that I think adds to another level of content in terms of in between content droughts. But, their goal they stated with creating Forsaken and some of the Vidocs is to not have content drought. So we have Festival of the Lost coming up. More than likely, November is probably going to have faction rallies, or Iron Banner will come back. I was a little bummed about that, but I know the challenges are wrapped up into those clan bounties where we have the Witch, it's called. You know, for this week, we just get another drop. But it would have been cool if they had the challenge modes. But to be frank, I want to keep doing the raid every week because I want to see what role I'm going to get, because I got a Chattering Bone from the second raid chest, where because you can go in, do the code, go to get the second chest, and I got a Chattering Bone with that's the pulse rifle, fast firing, rangefinder, great barrels, and rampage on it, and I infused that up at the end of the raid, and that's my go-to weapon now. So I still want to do the raid because I want to get rolls. I want to get good rolls on things. So I still have a carrot to chase within the raid, so to speak. I could get with random rolls, I can get better armor pieces, not necessarily power, because now that I'm in the 590s, I'm fine for everything pretty much. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hitting 600 isn't gonna make whoa, I'm 600 whatever. Now it's like I'm in my 590s, so everything is gonna die pretty easily. But now I want to go back in. Oh, you know what? I just got that helmet with enhanced ashes to assets. You know what I mean? Like, or I got a curated Chattering Bone, or a curated Nation of the Beasts, or whatever. So to me, that's more of the carrot right now, is to go back in to see what kind of random rolls I can get on armor and weapons right now.
Yep. All right. Well, there you go, guys. I know we had to bring that up. That was a discussion I think that just needed to be had. That was something I saw on Reddit. And
there's no right or wrong in it. Listen, It's in the game and this and that. Everyone has an opinion. Whether you think it's a cheese or not, you're not right. No one's right and no one's wrong, okay?
Right. Agreed.
It depends on what kind of player experience you want. If you want to get the loot, or do you want to have a fun player experience? Some people don't have the time to do it. I get that. You know what I mean? Then there's the people that want to do the speed.
Are you someone that's about the journey, or are you someone that's about the destination, Sean? I think is what it all.
Exactly.
That's what it boils down to. But all right, well, let's wrap it up there, guys. As always, everyone, thank you here for tuning into the show. Again, big thanks to our sponsors. We had Loot Gaming, Gamer Goo, and On Air PC. You can find links to all of them down in the show notes. And, of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Guardians of D. Email us, feedback at theguardiansofdestiny.com.
Give us those questions for Bungie next week.
Yes, next week. Oh, yeah. Email us your questions.
Your Bungie questions. Yeah.
We're going to have, again, Robbie Stevens. He's the senior designer for Gambit, as well as Cooley Callahan, the senior artist for Gambit. So all next week, we will be talking Gambit here on the show. We are not recording the show live next week. However, it will be dumped to YouTube and, of course, all the podcast channels. As usual, late Monday night into Tuesday, you'll be able to find it there. Our exclusive interview with both those guys, and we're just going to be talking Gambit the whole episode with them. And you can email us, feedback at theguardiansofdestiny.com. We want your thoughts, some things you want us to talk about. I'm sure we're going to get into the design of Gambit, as well as just kind of their intent for the game mode itself, kind of where it sits in the game, and, of course, the what do you want to say? Kind of the state of Gambit, I guess, where it is, and, of course, what is going to be in the future for Gambit. So we're going to get into all of that next week. Anything else here at the end of the show you guys want to throw out real quick? Plugs?
Yes, tomorrow I'll have the usual weekly reset video, the Ascendant Challenge, the double feature video where I do the Ascendant Challenge and also the Wanted Spider Bounty for the week. But then also I put up a video on how to get a 100K score easily within a Nightfall, and how to set up your challenge card based on the 3 Nightfalls. So I'm going to start doing those every week, I think. So tomorrow, expect those videos. Wednesday night, I'll be streaming the raid with WTF Game Nation. And Thursday, I'll be streaming right here on everything is streamed right here on YouTube. I'll be streaming the Bungie Weekly Update, because that's where we're going to get all our information regarding the Festival of the, I wanted to say cost, but
I was going to ask if you guys think it's going to be Festival of the Cost this time.
I don't think, dude. No. I read a thread title the other day. Have you noticed no one's complaining about Eververse anymore?
I saw that too on Reddit.
And it's I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be the same thing. Do things in the game to get things. You have you know what? They're so big on bounties. I bet we're going to have bounties. Festival of the Lost, spooky bounties, scary bounties like that. You know what I mean? It should be pretty cool.
Sean, I'm going to kind of throw this out here at the end. Any Blops 4 videos on the way here at the end of the week, or what?
Blops Quattro, dude?
I'm getting a code from Activision. I have to disclaim that, of course, in a sense. I don't know how I'm going to have time to play it. Because, well, thank God my 3 characters are still getting to that level. So I'm imagining to try to get all my work done over the during the week, so I could spend some time just grinding Black Ops 4.
Nice. I will say, dude, I'm getting it because my son, we got World War II last year, and like now him and I, we get it, so we can both have it on the both PlayStations and play together. We had a blast playing that, and he's a big Fortnite guy, so he's looking forward to Blackout. So we're definitely gonna play some Blackout together and have some fun. But all right, everybody, thank you again, as always, for tuning into the show, making us a part of your week, whether you're watching it over on YouTube, youtubegaming.com/MesaSean, or in Podbean or iTunes, your podcast service of choice. Thank you so much. And with that, we'll catch you guys next week. Later.
Shanks. I want a shank pillow. I want that shank pillow.
Shanks. Thank you, everybody.
All right, thanks everybody for hanging out. Chat, guys.
Yeah, chat. Thank you guys so much, man. It was a good show, for sure.
Call of Duty sellout, Preston Lewis. No, man, Blops 4 is awesome, dude. Way better than World War II, man, because it's got a longer time to kill. Treyarch classic design maps, 3 lanes like Black Ops 2, man. I
saw a commercial on it today, and all the stuff. And this guy comes down, boom, throws up a shield, just like a Titan, and I'm like,
yeah.
Man, you guys just come on, bro. Just like is everybody just copy Destiny? Like, come on.
The thing is, they did tone down the specialists, which are really super. Yeah. They did tone them down for Black Ops 4 compared to 3, and it's more about gunplay. It's more. Finally, there's gunfights in Call of Duty, which, man, if anyone knows, when the 2 weekends of beta were on PS4, no one heard from me for that entire weekend. Except for my girlfriend. She was the only one that heard from me. And every time her son was on PlayStation, she'd say, Mesa Sean playing Black Ops 4. Mesa Sean playing Black Ops 4. Because I was completely... I hit max rank both weekends, too. Because I could not stop. I didn't play the blackout mode. I just multiplayer.
I will say, Sean, I mean, I've played Battlegrounds, Fortnite, of course. Blackout's cool because it has the good gunplay. Like, that's the one thing that Fortnite and Battlegrounds, I've just never been a fan of it. Blackout feels like Call of Duty,
so many people asking me about, and I know Spider-Man looks visually amazing. Dude, I've had so many people ask me about Spider-Man and Fortnite and all these other, and I'm like, look, man, I'm about the gunplay. It's the reason that I am a Destiny person.
Spider-Man, dude.
There isn't one. So
dude, Spider-Man is incredible, man. Like, it is.
I know, but I'm saying, the reason that I play the games that I play is I like to play shooters.
I like to shoot people,
shooters, yeah. We were talking the other day, we were streaming, actually, I didn't even mention it on the show. We streamed to the Dads of Destiny Breathe Easy stream, and somebody was talking about how tips on how to level up or whatever. And I was like, here's a tip on how to make sure you level up is don't play a shit ton of Spider-Man, because if you don't play a lot of Spider-Man, you're going to level up quicker. And that's why I'm stuck where I am, dude, because I'm at like 94% right now in that game. I'm 100%ing that game, dude. I love it. It is so good.
And then when is Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out? Jeez Louise,
That's October 26th. You know what, man? Like, believe me, I loved the first game. Those games are amazing, but that's going to be a beast of a game. And it's like, I don't know.
You know what? I might buy it, but probably not put some time into it until, we get a real content drought within Destiny 2 or Christmas time. It's bad. We have Forsaken hit. And then you have Black Ops 4. I mean, it's bad for me because I love these 3 games. And Red Dead is one of those games where I literally can just lose 12 hours and, oh my God, it's 12 hours have gone by. And I don't have time for that. And I'm afraid to get it and get sucked into it. You know what I mean?
I think the online, they're saying, is 2 weeks after, which I know many people here, it's not your style of game, but 2 weeks after Red Dead is Fallout 76. B. Suter put it in the chat. That's why I'm kind of like, I love Fallout. And I'm like, to me, like, I think I may hold off on Red Dead specifically just for Fallout, and then maybe go Red Dead, like you said, Sean. That might be like the Christmas thing, because I just, man, I want to get into Fallout. Like, to me, Red Dead just, that world almost seems too real, that it's like, I don't know how much fun that world will be to be in. You know what I mean? And maybe me saying I love Fallout, you're like, well, Fallout's a depressing post-apocalyptic world, but there's something about that world that I've just loved. Like, Red Dead seems so real. Some of those emergent activities seem so crazy. The fact that you need to bathe yourself, people will think you smell. The fact that you need to clean your guns, all that is amazing and incredible, but it's like, I don't know how much fun right now am I going to have. And partly that's why I've been loving Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is just a shit ton of fun, man. You are Spider-Man just having a blast. And so Red Dead just, I don't know, for me personally.
Red Dead, it was weird because I spent the most, not the most time. Once I completed the campaign, I spent the most time in the saloon playing this game called Liar's Dice, where you and like 3 other people. But Rockstar, they nail these, like, because you're hearing the liners in the bar, like, hey, buddy, can I get a drink? And I always remember hearing this one line, did that old man shit himself again? Like, I said so many one-liners, but I would sit there for hours playing Liar's Dice.
Well, Sean, that's this go-around. I mean, that's what everybody's really now, people that did the early previews, it's like this emergent gameplay that was always there, but they're going to remember things. You're going to be having much more of an impact on the world, where before, you could go murder a bunch of people and kind of like show up and people kind of forgot that. That's not this time around. Like, if you're not wearing your bandana and they know your face, people are going to come hunting you down, or you go into a town, they're going to know who you are.
Wow.
Like I said, if you're covered in mud and you haven't bathed in like 3 days or whatever, you're going to go in and people are going to avoid you. Or, you may be in the saloon and they'll come up to you and start talking shit to you or if you're too clean in the saloon, they'll come up to you and start calling you a pretty boy and be like, why are you clean? Like, so there's many different systems they're putting in at this go around, but.
Well, like, you need to go buy materials or something, and then he won't sell it to you because you smell or something like that. Yeah. Like, go take a bath before you come back to buy this material from me or something like that.
Somebody just said, don't piss either.
Don't pee your pants, man.
Yeah, I'm sure you could probably do that as well. But all right, guys, we're going to kill the stream. Everybody, thank you as always, and we will catch you next week.
Love you guys.
Later, everybody.